Yeah, good point. Another development with Harry this week, you know, he's got this role at Better Up, which is this
Yes,
sort of odd organization
yes.
that's meant to boost people, I guess.
What do you mean by that?
But they're now launching a university which will offer degrees in life coaching online. So, what does this mean for Harry in his role at this firm? Are they now going to be using him to try and tout this university course?
Good question.
Yeah. There's another course called Burnt Out, which for a ticket, any ticket is £1,200. I think that's pretty ghastly as well. Now, the thing is, I think if you want to help people who've got mental problems, mental health problems, you need to be over it yourself. I think
Yes.
it's very worrying for people who fear that they're not actually behaving or thinking or feeling right, that someone should come in who is not very confident that they will be better.
Yeah, right.
And tell you what to do. I don't know that that will happen with Harry. I mean, if you looked at how he was in Colombia, he looked wretched. He looked dreadful. He looked as if he should go and see a doctor straight away.
Damn!
He laughed some of the time, but other of the time he was in a terrible state. Now, can somebody like that, who doesn't have a degree, his only experience is himself, take over running things for other people? I mean, he has said that he said
you want you could do so you do you could you want
I've had therapy for 4 years trying to heal myself. Now, I think that would put anyone off. There's no point in actually trying to do something for someone else when you're in that sort of state.
Really, nigga?
He might mean well. I think you can say something to someone, over a cup of tea or talk to them, but I don't think you can do a proper course and tell people what to do when you haven't worked it out for yourself. It's like having a maths teacher who's never done maths.
Yes, very good point.
Do you see me laughing, my nigga?
Very good point. But the problem is, Angela, we know what this is about. Let's just be honest here. I know you're trying to be kind to him, but he doesn't want to help people, Angela. The role at Better Up is about money. That's what it's about, because it's looking increasingly likely that they're going to lose the $100 million Netflix deal.
Wow.
When it runs out after the 5 years. They might be given some sort of consolation deal, but it's not going to be anywhere near that sort of money. It has been a disaster, their Hollywood career. Spotify's axed them. They became really good friends with the boss of Netflix and his wife to try and save their deal.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But it's not going to happen, Angela. So what do you make of these Netflix rumors? And surely this is going to put the pressure on them to start making more money.
Let me put it in a language you can understand.
Yes, I think it's very obvious that Netflix can't do that. You can't go on if you get nothing or it's boring. Now, the only time they made loads and loads of money was that dreadful 6 installment documentary where it was moaning throughout, and Meghan did that terrible curtsy mocking the Queen.
Women.
But people were absolutely riveted by it, and it sold, it was very, very popular. But no one's interested in Harry's polo things, it seemed. They had a book called Pearl, which was about a young girl who wanted to be strong and effective.
Okay.
And I think Meghan thought it would sounded just like her, but Netflix have got rid of that, and they're also not happy about what's happened with Meghan. I mean, she's tried to get a CEO to run her cooking business, But nobody wants to do it, apparently, it seems. She's tried to get cooks, but they don't like the fact that she muddles in because they're great cooks. She goes for the top, as we know, that's good. But they don't actually want to be told exactly what to do, the minute detail, because she's very particular about things like that. So she can't find that, and she's not got anywhere. I mean, I've got it down here that this for her things that she wants to sell, like bird feeders and pet shampoo and letter openers and all sorts. They're stopped now because the US patents and trademark have to go absolutely through everything. It's very slow, it's very cautious, and she won't be able to get any further till next spring. So I think Netflix are fed up because it's going on for a very long time. They've spent money in her being all different sorts of places cooking.
We do not care.
But they can't go anywhere now. They just have to wait, and they're fed up. I think they've got lots of other things they can do. And the other thing is, yes, they've got several senior people there who know exactly how to make documentaries and stories and all that. That's what they do.
Okay.
But they find that Meghan doesn't want them to do it. She wants to do it herself because she believes that she really can do it best. And we know that's Meghan's always best. And but she doesn't like the fact that people don't admire her beyond words and feel that she's so wonderful. But the fact is that people can see through it now and don't feel like that. And she should be much more modest instead of taking this high level, I'm so grand.
Here we go again.
Indeed. No, she really should. And it's very sad, actually, Angela, that you think that the consequence, I guess, of the Colombia tour, which, again, was another disaster. It didn't really achieve anything. There were bad headlines in Colombia. There were bad headlines internationally. It was all just pretty bad, really.
Yeah, right.
But you think that it has sort of exposed to the world just how wretched Harry looks and how unhappy he seems to be. And I agree.
Okay.
But first, I promised to talk to you on the show about products that are life-changing. This one's personal, but let me tell you guys, you're going to love it. And ladies, if you are looking for a present to treat your husband or boyfriend, this is a game changer. They will be so grateful to you.
Oh, Lord. Again.
That's because men want our grooming routine to be a one and done deal. So the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your nether regions are over, thanks to my friends at Manscaped. They've come up with the ultimate package to keep you trimmed from 12 to 6. Today,
What this comes down to is, do you have faith that the advance of science is going to solve a lot of our problems? Now, what is amazing is that all the people who say that they love science so much, they don't seem to have a lot of faith in science.
What do you mean by that?
They don't seem to have a lot of faith in innovation. That is the actual thing that science does, right? It's not just that science can measure the changing temperature over time. Climate models are very often wrong because this is really complicated stuff. It's not just people falsifying data or being willful.
Okay.
This is difficult stuff. But what science is really good at is inventing new, amazing things. Why would you count on human beings suddenly exercising self-control as a species, as opposed to innovating in new and in amazing ways?
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing you should actually be betting on. The left doesn't want to bet on that. Instead, what the left would like to do is generate policy in the here and now that makes people suffer to no apparent end. Because, by the way, all the measures that they are taking right now, Kyoto Protocol, Paris agreements, that ain't going to do diddly squat in the long run when it comes to whatever carbon emissions are being put up into the atmosphere and what is going to stay there. Now, that's not going to stop our idiot elites like Prince Harry from talking about things like climate change. So Prince Harry, for some reason, is now speaking at the UN. I don't know why. He's the son who wasn't good enough to stay in the family. He's the one who married Meghan Markle and then proceeded to alienate himself from the entire royal family and then come to the United States. And I was under the impression we fought a revolution so he didn't have to listen to dolts like Prince Harry. I thought that was the whole point. We didn't want a royal family over here because then you have moron inbred royals explaining to us exactly how the world ought to work while being bossed around by their significantly more vocal spouses. I don't think anybody was particularly interested in this, but the Duke of Sussex decided that he was going to appear at the United Nations. I will say that it was pretty hilarious that no one showed up for the speech. If you actually watch the speech, there's no one in the audience. Even the UN, which like you're being paid to listen to crap speeches.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Even they were like, no, I can't do it, man. I'm going to go get myself a parking ticket I'm never going to pay. Apparently, at this event, he talked a lot about climate change. He highlighted the havoc of it. And he said, how many of us feel battered, helpless in the face of a seemingly endless stream of disasters and devastation? Here is Prince Harry, who, why? Just why? Here he is.
This has been a painful year in a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all. The few weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many. And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom.
Let's go.
The cause of Mandela's life.
He's talking about he's a member of the he's only famous because he's a member of a royal family. Find a better spokesperson, people. He's literally famous because he was born into a family that is like pure aristocratic hierarchy happening right there. He's literally a member of a monarchic family explaining why democracy is being threatened because of Roe versus Wade being overturned.
What?
And then he's jabbering about the effects of climate change. Like he knows anything about climate change. Prince Harry's the expert. That guy. Oh my goodness. He's just become worse and worse. The Meghan Markle thing. I'm with Piers Morgan. Large-scale mistake for our neighbors across the sea. Him talking about the world being on fire again. He said, these historic weather events are no longer historic. More and more, they are part of our daily lives, and this crisis will only grow worse. Oh, he lives on a giant estate in California.
Oh, my.
With his B-level actress wife, who married into a royal family to become a princess and then whined about it for years on end, claiming that everyone was racist to her after the entire British press talked about how wonderful she was, specifically because of her intersectional identity. These are the people who are deciding policy. It's people like Prince Harry. They're no smarter than Prince Harry. They're no wiser than Prince Harry. They're all just kind of like Prince Harry. They're sort of a hereditary upper class that have decided for everyone else that you don't get the air conditioning.
Yeah, right.
Because the air conditioning, you know, it might contribute to future global warming. You're like, wait, it's really hot outside now. I need the air conditioning today. Like, well, you know what? We can't let you have oil and natural gas because 100 years from now, there might be incremental increase in the temperature that will cause mass migration. They're like, there's mass migration right now because of a giant war happening between Russia and Ukraine that is resulting in widespread devastation, not just in the region, but also globally because of the skyrocketing price of food.
Really, nigga?
That's causing migration crisis now, today. And you have our sort of elite class, the Prince Harry group, who are still making this case. And we're supposed to listen to them. And this sort of scorn drips from the people who believe that it's their job to rule others. There's an op-ed from a woman named Margaret Renkel, a contributing opinion writer, who covers flora, fauna, politics, and culture in the American South, which is a hell of a beat.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I don't know how you get flora and fauna and politics. Like, oh, wow, you know, the lady who's really good at gardening. Let's get her take on the latest election down south. So she has a piece in the New York Times today titled, Dear Liberals, Come On Down. And she's not making the case that liberal people should move to Nashville because Nashville's a great place to live. She's making the case that Nashville's a hellhole, so we need to come in and conquer Nashville from the outside.
What?